You kind of mentioned like black people supporting black businesses, and you said y'all had a very lengthy conversation. I want to know like what was some of the themes that arose. Like, what was the conversation like?
Do now I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna pose it as a question for you.
Yeah.
Do do we trust people who we go to church with?
Do we trust people we go to church with?
We go to
So
church with them every Sunday. Just I know you're philosophical,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but on average, right? Say you grew up in this church.
yeah,
Would you trust the individual you've been going to church with for 10 to 15 years to do business with?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So the interesting part is like I love that you said that, man. I know you philosophical because there was a James answer, and then there's like just the regular
I
answer.
know,
So my
I know.
regular answer is yes. I would trust the person that I went to church with for 10 plus years.
Hmm. Most people don't, right? We don't really trust each other in this society, right? Even when you think about individuals like in your circle, it's a
Yeah,
small group that you really truly trust and lean on. You have a lot of associates and individuals you build with, but we don't traditionally trust each other from a culture perspective to really lean into it, or we're very competitive with each other, and that doesn't allow us to
yeah,
collaborate as well too. So those are a lot of things that we talked about across the board, but we talked about how two huge companies like Amazon and Disney will partner together when bread is involved,
yeah,
right? When bread is involved,
yeah.
egos and all that stuff goes out the
So
window when it.
so
Go
let's
ahead.
talk about it for a minute, cause I'm experiencing this personally.
Hmm.
Well, as a business, and then I also am experiencing this as a consumer right now.
Hmm.
And so as a producer, as a business, one of my friends hit me up over a couple weeks ago and said, "Hey, I'm trying to do this shoot. Man, I thought of you. I know you're building your business. I would love to support. Da da da. Could you do XYZ 1 2 3?" So they tell me what they're looking for. I'm like, "Oh yeah, for sure." So I draft up a little contract, send a little contract, say, "Hey, deposit $50 deposit, whatever, whatever. Go ahead, send a deposit. We can lock everything in." The person comes back and they say, "Oh, I didn't know you were going, I respect the price, you know what I'm saying? It's, all that. But
Hmm.
I'm just trying to like practice this for my business." And the person knows who it is. So they're gonna hear this and be like, damn. And it's not a knock to them.
Yeah,
It's not a
yeah.
knock to them, but it just brings back this idea that there's a there's a certain level of trust that has not been built. The irony is that this person that I'm talking about, I have been good friends with for over 10 years. Like you said, do we trust the people we go to church with,
Hmm.
right? As a friend, they trust me 100%. I know that for a fact. Like we have lengthy conversations, but as a business, as a person with a skill set, they don't trust me in that area. We haven't built up that trust muscle, right? But
Hmm.
I said to one of my counterparts, I said, I bet you $1 million
Hmm.
if they called another one of the people in their phone that has a photography business, they're gonna charge them 3 times the amount that I was gonna charge them. And
Hmm.
I kind of gave them a friends and family discount, which I thought was very reasonable. And then
Hmm.
even after that, I was willing to take a fraction of the cost because I'm like, I understand you're trying to grow your business, you're trying to do this, so I'm willing to help them. So here's a black man, a business trying to help you purchase something from me. I was like, let's flip it, right? You mentioned Amazon and Disney. If I was Nike, or if I was Prada, or if I was Gucci, or whatever girls wear nowadays, Lululemon, right? Um, you are not going on Lululemon's site saying, "I am willing to pay you this, not that, for your stuff that I want."
Hmm.
It doesn't happen. So I think part of it is this lack of trust, and even a bit of a lack of. I guess they don't see. It's hard for people to see black people as trustworthy businessmen. Like I don't know
I,
why that is.
I think that, but it's also I think well I believe that sometimes we give each other grace, right? And I'll
Yeah,
give you an instance as well.
yeah.
Today after the conference, I went in the subway to use the bathroom, but a lot of times like, hey, if you weren't purchasing something, you
They ain't
can't,
trying to let you.
right? And I
Yeah,
was like, I'm not finna debate with y'all. I gotta pee. So cool, ring me up for this. I'm finna go use the bathroom. Come back. As I come back, it was an Indian gentleman.
yeah,
In my head, I'm like, I'm a pretty good salesperson. I'm gonna negotiate just to play with him, right? But a side of me was like, yeah, bro, he ain't finna budge. So like, don't even waste your time and
Yeah.
energy, right? Even that little small mental shift, like I know if there was somebody I could see myself within,
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, bro, like I really just had to use the bathroom. Can I get like this cookie for, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me,
Yeah.
and it might have actually slid. I think
Yeah.
there's a cognitive acceptance, right? That hey, it's not gonna change when it comes to other individuals.
Yeah.
Versus if I see myself, you're made in my likeliness as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I might be able to
Yeah.
negotiate. There's mutual ground.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna give you the example from me as a consumer, right? So we just talked a little bit about me and my girl being in the home buying process, and going through this process, we are looking up home inspectors, and so she was like, I ain't gonna chase it or do the most, but if I could find a black home inspector, that'd be love. So I was like,
Mhm.
hell yeah. I was like, they look like us, they understand. Da, da, da. So I started doing my little research, right? I'm finding all type of people, right? And it's funny because I'm seeing the names that's popping up. I'm like, that's definitely a black guy. It's Byron something. I'm like, I ain't
Yeah.
never seen a white Byron. So I was like, bet. Started doing my little research. I'm finding people websites. So I'm clicking on the website. The website is going to one of them 404 website not found pages.
Mhm.
So I'm like, damn, okay. So it's like, send it a little email. I try to send somebody an email. The email say, email bounce back. I'm like, damn, okay. They had a link that said, here is the Instagram page for the same, the business. So I go try to Instagram page don't exist. So I'm like, God damn, like here's an example where I'm trying to rock with, our people and they don't have the systems in place for me to rock with them. So I think
Mhm.
sometimes that also kind of creates this lack of trust for me now, because it's like, dang, now if I go like, and I'm not saying that every black person that's in business does this, but I'm just saying there will be instances like this where I'm ready to give you my money, pay the full price, because that's another thing. As black people, we feel like other black people have to give us a discount for something that they worked hard to create and
That's
put
what we
into
just
the
talked about.
marketplace. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like it blows my mind that if Marcus has a book that he wrote that's chronicling how to do whatever, right? I'm as a friend of Marcus, I'm gonna come and say, "Hey, bro, I know your book $50, but man, look out and give it to me for the 25." That's really not helping nobody. I'm not really helping him, and he's not really helping me. Well, he's helping me for sure. I ain't gonna lie, but it's just one of those things. Like I don't like as much as I try to, I can never pinpoint exactly why every black business or like their like they go through what they go through. Like I just can't understand it, but I do believe that there is a lack of clarity sometimes in what the business does, or there's a lack of trust. But I just think that's interesting, man. I really think that's interesting. Like
Yeah.
we'll give
And it-
people millions of dollars, like other people
and it's
millions of dollars.
definitely, and it's not always the case, but I do think a lot of it definitely has something to do with programming, right? We can
Yeah,
always find something associated with that. But again, I think is if I see myself within you, oh, I would do it. I'll do it for you, right? Those are
yeah,
the expectations, assumptions, things of that nature that we always talk about as well too. But more of the story, pay full price. Tip if you
facts.
can.